can I get 1 minute with you real quick?
Yeah.
What industry did you pursue your career in?
Self-business. I opened a business in Ukraine
Okay,
in 2019,
okay,
and it wasn't. I was just trying.
yes.
It wasn't expected, but it became very successful, and I decided to live in Ukraine.
Okay, very good. And what industry is your business in?
Okay, so I'm into IT.
Okay,
So I used to sell softwares, Microsoft, and later I entered into the tech. So business computers, laptops, and later I opened a physical store, so like online and physical as well.
okay, very good. What's the most important lesson that you learned in this industry?
The most important lesson for me is, you know, just to try in Europe. There are a lot of countries that are, lacking, business new. They are looking for people with business ideas, like Bulgaria, Ukraine, all these Eastern European. Romania is
Yes.
actually a very good place for business. I have a company now in Romania. It's doing very, very good. So, when people tend of thinking of opening a business, like they are going to Austria, they are going to Germany, maybe in Poland, it's very popular for foreigners who are looking for investing in European countries like Spain, like I
Yes,
have a
yes.
friend. But these places look a little bit difficult when you are outside, but once you get to know how the system works, I think it's more easier to do business in like Eastern Ukraine, Eastern Europe than Western Europe,
Yeah,
because there's a fair share of you know
I totally understand what you want to say me. And can you tell me what's the biggest risk that you have ever taken?
the biggest risk for me
Yes.
was finding the right employee.
Okay.
So I had to try. It took me more than a year to find an employee who I can trust. This is a big problem in Eastern Europe.
And what's the biggest problem with the employees?
The biggest problem is they really don't have, I can't say motivated to work, but there's a bit of, they relax on the job, it's like, oh, don't forget about this, we already know this, this is my country, I know this, but you know Eastern Europe, it's more like socialist countries, so they just entered. I can say it's more open just recently, like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, to the capitalist market. So they are more like. When it comes to business, they like thinking like the socialist style,
Understand, yes.
It doesn't work, because if you want to improve the business, you need to think out of the box, like the usual thinking of the socialist mentality.
Okay, have you ever got a mentor in your life?
Mentor. Not really. A mentor for me, I'm Jesus Christ. I'm very
Yeah,
good Christian.
very good.
Yes.
We appreciate this. And to last question, what's the best advice that you can give to young entrepreneurs or someone that is trying to develop their business? And yeah,
The best advice is keep trying. Also, there's a trend of people going into the same thing, or in being influenced by what is trending. So I would advise people to think out of the box, because I told you I actually didn't know that it will work out. But once it worked out, I actually was surprised, and I tend to stay in Ukraine. I had never planned to stay in Ukraine. And then I realized that there's a huge opportunity in these countries in Eastern Europe. So now I live here because I also see the opportunity here as well. So yeah, in Bulgaria. Yeah.
okay, sir, thank you very much for your time and for the advices.
You're welcome.